And hello everyone, welcome back to another video. It's been quite a while, but I would like to try the advent of code again. I did a bit of it last year, not on YouTube unfortunately, but I did a little bit of it last year. And today I would like to continue trying to do it, one a day. It's pretty fun. And one challenge I want to try is do each one in a different language. Of course, I don't know 30 languages, so I'm not going to do 30 different languages, but probably my most used 10 languages. I'm just for the funsies, I'm going to swap them in and out. Alright, so let's start off here. I'm going to pretty much skip this whole top section here. Feel free to read through it if you want. But this is pretty much just setting up some lore, so I don't really care about this. Alright, so pretty much we're going to get a list. So this is how the list is going to look. Here's the actual inputs. But yeah, so this is pretty much the example. So there's just one problem. By holding the two lists up side by side, your puzzle input, it quickly becomes clear that the lists aren't very similar. Maybe you can help the historians reconcile their lists. This is pretty much location IDs. Maybe the lists are off by a small amount. To find out, pair up the numbers and measure how far apart they are. Pair up the smallest number in the left list with the smallest number in the right list. Then the second smallest left number with the second smallest right number, and so on. Within each pair, figure out how far apart the two numbers are. You'll need to add up all those distances. For example, if you pair up 3 on the left with 7 from the right, then they are 4 apart, because the remainder is pretty much just a subtraction. If you pair up 9 with a 3, it is 6. An example list above, the pairs and distances would be as follows. The smallest number in the left list is 1, and the smallest number in the right list is 3. So 1 and then 3. The distance between them is 2. The second smallest number in the left list is 2. The second smallest number is another 3. And then the distance between them is 1. The third smallest number, so the distance between them is 0. It's pretty much just the same thing. The next numbers to pair up are 3 and 4. The distance of 1. So just because this side is now smaller does not mean it should go -1. The fifth smallest numbers in each list are 3 and 5, so it becomes 2 again. Finally, the largest number in the left list is 4, while the largest number in the right list is 9, and they're 5. To find the total distance between the left list and the right list, add up the distance between all of the pairs you found. In the example above, this is 2 plus 1 plus 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 5, and that's 11. Your actual left and right lists for certain location IDs. Your actual left and right lists contain many location IDs. What is the distance between your lists? Alright, so it's pretty much just all of this. So today I'm going to try and do it using Dart, because I usually work a lot with Flutter. So we have an input.txt which we're going to read, and then once we've read it, we can parse that input. So first thing I want to do is I want to read this input. I didn't actually know how to read file inputs, so unless I want to copy paste it, it's probably best to read it from here. Alternatively, we could change this right here as well. Instead of being 3 spaces, we could change it to be something like a semicolon or something better to split them up, but I think it's fine for now. So Dart read file, because I simply can't remember how to do it. I haven't done it in years. So that's Flutter. I don't know if Flutter's going to help much, because I usually work with Flutter, so I didn't read too many files. Alright, so here we go. We just copy that, paste it here. Final is final. We're not going to modify it. This is from .io, yes. And this is input.txt. Then here, read as string. I'm pretty sure there's a better way to do it than reading like that. Okay, maybe not. Okay, but it should work with async, so then we don't have to do .then. So just say read as string. Yeah, what did it load? That was weird. Well, let's await that because this here is a future. So you can async this main and then input. I'm just gonna call it that. And now this will be a string. Now if we print input, what do we get? There we go. So we get all of this. Now we want to pretty much convert it into a list. So every line needs to be its own list. Or its own item in a list. Let's try and... I'm just going to try something here. Can I say .split and then pass in a \n? Will that work? Because \n is for a new line. I think it does. Like I said, now we have a list with 2 numbers in each. Okay, so that's good. So here we can go, just go final initial input list. Or actually this could be corrected input. Or actually formatted input. Let's go to that formatted input. I don't know if that correctly explains it, but it doesn't really matter too much. So first off, we want to split it. So we get a list of strings. Okay, but we are going to have to change this type. So yeah, I'm going to go input to list. And then we're going to say final cleaned input. Yeah, why not? We should actually clean this input or actually replay. Nah, it's fine. So clean input, we're going to make that input to list dot map dot to list. Then here we're going to say text, and is text dot split, and in here we say free spaces. This may not be the best method to do it, because if this changes or there's something not right here, like one of them don't have free spaces, it could be an issue. So I might actually recommend you replace the free spaces with a single space. So you just you do a replace. I think that replace all. Yeah, there we go. So you can just try and replace all of the spaces. I'm not going to bother too much with that, because I usually like to clean up after I've created a solution. So we're going to split it, and now we'll have a list of containing lists of this string. However, it might actually be better to maybe make a map. However, now we have a little issue, because whilst we do have lists with each side, it's going to be very difficult to work with, because you have your left side and you have your right side. So it would be best to split this list into 2 lists. One with all the left values, one with all of the right values. So then here, we can go and say final left values. I'm just going to call it values. Left values is equal to cleaned input dot map item dot to list, of course, and then item dot first and this should give us a list of strings. Now, because we're working with numbers, it would be best to also convert this to a number. So I don't know, can we just say, we can't say to number, int. Each language has like its own way to convert types. So let me maybe search up dart convert string to int. Maybe it's just to int, dot to int, no. Is int, or int.parse. I think I do int.parse because I think you can try that. Int.parse, yeah, try parse, there we go. So in case something goes wrong, then at least we know, you know, so now we get an int question mark. But it won't crash the program. I'm just going to say parse though. But you should say try parse for those following along. Then here we're going to say write values. And our write values will be clean input, and here we say dot last, because there's only 2 items per list, or there should only be. Now we're going to sort both values from small to large. So left values dot sort, and I think it's AB, A minus B. That should in theory sort it. Does this sort on the item itself, or does it return? It sorts on the item itself. Okay. So now if we print left values, it should look sorted. Now if we run this, it starts 10047 101163. Okay, it looks like it is sorted. Starts with 1, ends at 9. So with just a basic view, it does look right. Let's sort write values as well. And now we go final distance value, so this will be those distances, is equal to, can I go dart get ABS value. So what I want to do is, because I'm just going to subtract stuff, okay, so we just say dot ABS, because ABS will make it an absolute value, pretty much making it always positive. So here we can say, let's go here and say variable index is equal to 0. Then and we are pretty much assuming the left side and the right side are always the same length. So while left values dot length is more than index, this might result in an infinite loop. I just need to check. So we might want to go index plus 1. Then we go. You could also use a for loop if you want to be a little bit more accurate. That might actually be better. Let's actually go for a for loop, because then we also don't have the issue of, okay, we might run into an infinite loop. But length, there we go. And let's say this is just, instead of I, I'm going to call it index, just so it's more specific. Then we say final, yeah, there we go, distance values. Distance values, which is of type list number, or this would be an int. There we go. Distance value is equal to left values at index. Let's see, and that should be add. Minus right values at index. And as you may remember, I said we don't want subtracted value, so we don't want a negative value. I'm just going to say .abs. Then distance values dot reduce previous, current, previous plus current, and we start at 0. Reduce is pretty much just a fancy way of saying add two things together. Okay, I'm assuming it starts at 0 automatically then. Final, and we can just return. And what does this return? It returns an int. Ah, wait, we don't want to return it, we want to print it. That's why it's complaining. Now, if we were to run this, here we go, the final value. In theory, if we were to paste this in here, of course I have to copy it, submit it. Hey, there we go, we got the first answer right. I hope you actually tried it on your own and didn't just take my answer here. But alright, there we go. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. And definitely take a look at Advent of Code if you haven't yet. It's really fun, just these little coding bits. And I'll see you all again in the next video.